first year as a head coach. What do you know now that you didn't know a year ago right now?
Yeah, you better be consistent every day. I think you're going to have your ups and downs, but you better bring the same message, the same.
That your Big 12 commissioner sent when he recently said Bob Bowlesby came out critical of the NCAA and says that cheating pays presently. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, I think, you know, Mr.
You are 34 years old, which makes you the youngest coach at a power conference school. How does that benefit you in relating to your guys and even on the recruiting trail?
Yeah, you know, I'm not too far removed from playing and being in their shoes as a recruited student athlete.
Their shoes. We want you to take us through this video. This was from, I think, spring practice, and we want you to break this video down. If we
practice sessions, but got the job done.
It got the job done. What was the reaction from the guys on that?
Yeah, there were some mixed reviews, but
one of the storylines of your first season coaching at Texas Tech, you got to have a lot of attention for something off the field. Not anything you did, but a lot of similarities were made between you and a certain Hollywood actor, Ryan Gosling. What's your best Ryan Gosling mix-up story?
Just being, I was actually out in Las Vegas one time and had a girl run up to me. I had my sunglasses on, and she was really excited until she realized.
Reception you got in the makeup room this morning when you walked in. Has he ever reached out to you? Have you ever had any kind of contact with Ryan Gosling?
I have not.
We need to have him out to a football game.
We should work that out.
We also want to ask you, Ryan Gosling, a guy that's in the headlines, another guy that you know very well in the headlines, Johnny Manziel. You coached him at Texas A&M. You're the offensive coordinator, his quarterback's coach. What kind of conversations have you had with him this offseason? Because he's clearly been making some news for what he's been doing this offseason.
Yeah, just all positive. It's here and it's time to go. He'll turn it on and be ready to rock.
You spent day in and day out with him when you guys were in College Station. How do you think he's going to translate to the NFL game?
I think he'll make it work. He's such a phenomenal.
Starting in the NFL?
That's a good question. I like their starter. I think Brian Hoyer's a heck of a player and does it the right way. So it'll be interesting for that coaching staff.
It's one of the quarterback battles we're going to be certainly keeping a close eye on at training camp. Those guys are opening Saturday. Cliff Kingsbury and his Texas Tech team, they're opening against Central Arkansas on August 30th in Lubbock. We wish you guys the best of luck this season.
Appreciate it.
You just saw Peyton after he threw his record-breaking 51st touchdown, eclipsing Tom Brady's 50. He would end up with 55 on the season. So how do you follow that up? Well, good luck, Peyton.
Yeah, hey, look, if anybody could throw 56 in a season, Peyton is the guy. In case you're wondering, we did the math. He would need to throw 3.5 touchdown passes per game for all 16 games to break his own record.
That doesn't sound like a lot for him.
It's Peyton Manning. Look, it's not impossible with this guy. Let's start our training camp center coverage with the Denver Broncos. Can they get back to the Super Bowl? To begin answering some of those questions, Tom.
Reggie Wayne has shown up to Colts camp in a dump truck, a Humvee, even a helicopter, but he topped himself today. His slick mode of transportation is next. And the wild card race, the American League, is heating up. Details on how the action today shifted the standings. That's straight ahead on SportsCenter. Did like his Piper McShay skit. When someone is new in the neighborhood, the neighborly thing to do is you bring them baked goods. But when LeBron returns to the neighborhood in the house that he already called home, he's the one handing out the sweet stuff. Yeah, sweet stuff that he would never eat because you don't eat carbs.
That's right, I don't, for good reason. He bought the neighborhood cupcakes. His neighborhood became a Lollapalooza after he told everyone he was coming home, so he had to do something for them because it was crazy there. Meantime, here he is in Hong Kong, and it's hard to tell. I mean, there's a bazillion people there, but it's like hard to tell how many people actually showed up in his jerseys. They went nuts for him over there. So I hope they got some big ovens out there in China because he's going to need a lot of.
Good morning with the New York Giants. Last season, the start, it was bad. It was one for the history books. 0-6. Second worst start in team history after an 0-9 start back in 1976. The reason for the losses? Well, they could not protect the football. 23 turnovers through 6 games, 8 more than any other team in the league. And Eli Manning, yeah, he was the main culprit, committing 17 of his NFL worst 29 turnovers on the season. Things did get better, though, Kev. Would like the start to be a little better than last year's. Our training camp center coverage of all 32 teams in 10 days continues this morning as we send it out to Josina Anderson and Antonio Pierce. They are live from Giants camp. Well, conference media days aren't usually the place where novels are inspired. It's a place where finding a front-page headline is typically a stretch. Not yesterday. Here's the glimpse of the future painted by Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby. Quote, "You wouldn't have to be a very good fiction writer to come up with some scenarios that would be pretty scary." It wasn't just broad strokes on what's to come that Bowlesby painted. It was also a headline on what he believes currently is. Well, Oklahoma State coach Mike Gundy also spoke about the present state of college sports in a one-on-one off-camera conversation with our Joe Shad. And after Shad tweeted the following quotes from Gundy, you can see them here. "I am convinced that there are teams that are cheating that are saying, 'Catch me if you can.' And the head coach must be responsible. If I have a coach blatantly cheating, they know they'll be dismissed." As for Commissioner Bowlesby, he also issued a warning of sorts, saying if you like the way college sports are now, quote, "you're going to hate it going forward. There's a lot of change coming," end quote. Kevin continues what is sure to be an ongoing conversation.